A very happy Monday to you, and thanks so much for joining us in Up North Live Unscripted at 6:30. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. The weather was pretty nice out there across northern Michigan, and for the most part, a pretty nice day today, too, to kick off our work week, but to wrap up the month of June. It's hard to believe that tomorrow is already July, and Joe, I'm sure a lot of people hoping for some sunny skies for their first day of July.
Well, they're going to see some, at least this year.
Nice.
Lots of sunshine. You know, I looked at the calendar today. I was off last week, and you know, the days kind of one after another.
Sure.
And I was like, yeah, it's the end of June already.
How?
Hard to believe.
I know it is.
It goes so quick. We've had a few showers and storms in some spots. There's still a couple around out there this evening. So we'll take a look at that. And then this week, kind of, you know, we're heading into July. So I think we're kind of looking at a pretty typical forecast coming up here. It does look a little warmer, especially as we get down the road here toward the 4th, which is on Friday, and even into the beginning of the weekend. So a lot to unpack with that. We'll take a look at that and the rest of the forecast a little later, Maya.
All right, thank you so much, Joe. Our top story tonight is a bit of continuing coverage of a story we first shared with you last month. So back in May, we told you how one northern Michigan library district is stepping up this summer to fill a food need for families. The Traverse Area District Library partnered with Feeding America to provide free lunches for kids while they are out of school. Of course, a lot of kids across the state, across the country, they do rely on those meals they get at school. So when it comes to the summertime, it can be difficult for some families to provide those lunches, but that's where the library is stepping up. And our Allie Baxter checked in with staff today about the increased need that they're seeing this summer.
Now we have summer lunches.
That was Andy Shook, the Traverse Area District Library's Director of Youth Services. Back in May, before the kickoff of the library's free summer lunch program, it's made possible by partnering with Feeding America West Michigan and their Gather to Grow program.
It's usually one meat option and one vegetarian option.
Fast forward a month later, and Andy says they're seeing an increased need for these meals. 1,700 meals were handed out in less than a month between the main library and its East Bay, Interlochen, and Kingsley branches. The total last summer, 2,500.
We're really well on our way to exceeding that goal and that number.
Monday through Friday, library staff sit here and offer a free lunch to whoever needs it.
Libraries are busy places in the summer, and families visit the library a lot, and especially during summer reading programs.
It's the summer reading program that Andy says draws families in, so they're able to feed minds and stomachs as well.
Your little can of tuna, some raisins, more applesauce, some sunflower seeds, some crunchy carby bites, and then a juice.
200 of these bagged lunches were handed out in one day during the summer reading program. An average is 60 to 70 a day.
If the child is hungry and they eat their lunch there right then at the library or outside the library, and they're still hungry, they can come back and get a second one as well.
No limits, no restrictions, just library staff wanting to meet their community where they are. And it's something Andy says has been a much-needed boost.
Families have come and they keep coming back. We know that that's just kind of one way that they express their thanks.
In Traverse City, Allie Baxter, Up North Live News.
And if you are in need of a free meal this summer, the main library passes out lunches from 11 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. We also have a list of participating libraries across northern Michigan over on our website, UpNorthLive.com. All right, let's take a look at our question of the day when it comes to your financial situation. What is it this year compared to last year? Are you better off this year than you were last year? Are you worse off, or are you about the same? Scan the QR code on your screen right now. That'll take you over to our website where you can vote. And actually, so those are our three options: better, worse, the same. It's pretty split right now. Everyone kind of has a different financial situation now compared to a year ago. So if you want to vote, you can also head over to our Facebook page and leave a comment. As always, toward the end of the show, I will look at a few comments and we'll give you some updated results on our question of the day. But Right now, let's talk about budget conversation in Lansing as the clock is ticking for tomorrow's deadline for our state budget. As lawmakers hash out the final details, Governor Whitmer over the weekend highlighted a proposal that she made in her budget. It would expand the victim service program through Michigan State Police. The $1.3 million investment would add 8 more people to the staff, and reporter Courtney Bennett has more details on that program.
Many times people don't know who to call, or the law enforcement officers, including troopers, are busy on the next call and don't have the time to invest in making sure that the victim has everything they need to feel supported after a crime. And the crime victim advocates fill that void.
They are the ones assisting someone after they were assaulted or human trafficked. They can not only provide those resources in the hours after a horrendous and life-changing moment, but they can be the support in the courtroom.
To help them develop their victim impact statements and ensure that their voices are heard.
The services are provided to someone in a Michigan State Police related case. In the budget proposal, Governor Gretchen Whitmer is asking for $1.3 million, which would bring the total number of advocates to 22.
Victim advocates can transform what might otherwise be a stressful or really negative interaction with law enforcement into a positive, supportive interaction.
According to state data, MSP advocates have about 20 to 35 cases at a time. Last year, the program served more than 1,200 victims.
Law enforcement-based victim advocates are essential to both public safety and victim recovery. They help ensure that our victims are not only heard, but also supported at a high level to make sure that they have support through the most difficult times of their life.
Thanks to Courtney Bennett for that story. As of right now, there are 14 advocates across the state, but according to the program's website, they can only work with the victims of MSP cases due to current staffing. Now, again, lawmakers are still working out Michigan's fiscal budget for 2026. All right, switching gears now as we are in the summer months. I'm sure some folks are thinking about taking a vacation. Well, have you ever needed a vacation from your vacation, whether it's a week away or just a long weekend? Do you ever find yourself feeling even more drained than recharged once you return home from that vacation? Well, Michael Yoshida joins us with tips on how to feel more rejuvenated during and after your summer escapes.
Craving a post-vacation vacation? You might not be alone.
We're tired because we continue our work life and that work lifestyle on vacation.
Instead of relaxing, it can be tempting to overschedule, to try and see all of the tourist sites or do all of the resort's activities and more.
We just continue working. It's just a different kind of work. I have to see this cathedral. I have to, walk down this road, eat at this restaurant. And next thing you know, you're not resting, you're still working.
Jordan Barber, a doctor of acupuncture and oriental medicine, says learn to embrace unstructured relaxation. Have a to-do list, but also be okay just going with the flow and listening to your body. Other things to do to keep your stress in check. 1. Keep your hormones in balance with consistent meal and sleep timing. 2. Get early morning sun exposure to naturally boost your energy and reset your circadian rhythm. 3. Hydrate. You might be vacationing in a warmer climate or eating more processed sodium-filled foods than you're used to. And finally, when it comes to meals, enjoy your vacation, but also try to eat more magnesium and potassium-rich foods, dark leafy greens, avocados, bananas, pumpkin seeds, and more to calm your nervous system.
It's okay to eat, at the restaurant that you want to eat at that might be a little processed or anything else, and to drink a little more, but make sure that hydration is up. But make sure that you're getting your magnesium, potassium-rich foods.
In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
All right, we are looking ahead now. A week from today, a lake sturgeon survey will be conducted on Burt Lake in Sheboygan County. It will be held by the Department of Natural Resources Fisheries Division, Bay Mills Indian Community, Michigan State University, the Little Traverse Bay Bands of Odawa Indians, and even more partners. There has been a push for about a couple decades now to restock sturgeon, as it is a native fish for many lakes across our state. Now, this survey will help clarify if the rehabilitation efforts are working by getting a sense of the population, the sizing, age of the fish, and more.
Once we capture them, we put them in a holding tank on the boat with an aerator and all that, and gather information about them, their length, girth, things like that. And we then put a tag in them so we can uniquely identify that fish and hopefully generate a population estimate or gather information if we capture that unique fish in the future as well.
And the surveying will not harm any fish. Godby does request that anglers stay away from buoys because that is where the netting of fish will be. Well, the National Cherry Festival in full swing in Traverse City this week. Let's take a look at some of the events happening today. First up, today was time for tea for young royals in Traverse City. Little princes and princesses, of course, dressed to the nines at the Park Place Hotel. Look at how good they look. The regal guests had time to meet with the Cherry Festival royalty, the National Cherry Queen herself, Tessa Nico, and her royal court. And the Princess Tea supports the Queen Scholarship Program, which helps empower future leaders. Now, from regal to just downright messy, another event happening at the Cherry Festival today. For some young festival fans, they ditch the utensils and dove face first into a plate of pie. It is the ultimate sweet tooth challenge with, of course, a cherry on top. The first contestant to join the Clean Plate Club received a ribbon. Now, in case you're watching this and thinking, wait, I could do that. I could easily eat some pie without using any utensils. Well, don't worry if you missed today's contest. There will be another one at F&M Park tomorrow starting at 1 o'clock. Now, let's take a look at all of the different events happening tomorrow. Well, I guess just some of them. We have a full list over on our website, UpNorthLive.com. But here's just a little recap with the Cherry Festival fun continuing tomorrow. A favorite kicking off the day, the Kids Pet Show at 9:30. That'll be at the F&M Park. And then you can celebrate Northern Michigan Native American heritage at the open space with cultural displays, arts, crafts, and jewelry. That starts at 10 a.m. and there is a powwow at 11. And then a Very Cherry Jamboree starts at 2 p.m. at the Botanic Gardens at Historic Barnes Park. And last but not least, Weird Al Yankovic will be taking it to the Bayside stage starting at 6 o'clock. Now, another very exciting event happening on Saturday. That is, of course, the Cherry Royale Parade. And if you can't make it to downtown Traverse City, Up North Live News has you covered. We will be live streaming all of the fun this Saturday. It starts at 11:15 in the morning. You can watch marching bands, National Cherry Festival royalty, floats from all over the state and some from other states as well, and much, much more. Brendan Kinney and Heather Bricka will host the parade. You can watch on the Up North Live Facebook, YouTube, and X pages. As I mentioned, a whole lot of events happening at the Cherry Festival the rest of the week as well. So head over to our website, UpNorthLive.com, for the full schedule of all of the Cherry fun events. All right, we are going to take a quick commercial break now, but a lot to talk about in weather. Of course, we mentioned today is the last day of June. So what is the start of July looking like, and how will the weather be for the 4th of July? Joe Charlevoix will answer all of those questions for you in just a few minutes.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Well, after a few scattered showers throughout northern Michigan, our Monday is wrapping up to be a pretty nice one weather-wise. A lot of blue sky and sunshine out there and some warmer temperatures once again. And Joe, it kind of feels like that is going to be the trend for the rest of the week. Is that true?
Yeah, you know, we're heading into July now, and we'll see actually a pretty nice week, I think, big picture coming up here. Tomorrow will be dry most of Wednesday, Thursday, most of Friday, perhaps, which of course is the 4th. Yeah. Take a look, though, at that sky. This is in Sault Ste. Marie. Interesting look across the St. Mary's River. We did have a little bit of rain here, especially south of Sault Ste. Marie. A little breeze. You can kind of see some of the darker clouds there in the distance there in Chippewa County, where it's right around 70 degrees currently. A little rain earlier today. What's happening this evening, we have a cold front passing through. So we've had some showers and thunderstorms ahead of that. There are a few tailing behind that also in parts of Wisconsin and the UP this evening. We did have that storm earlier near Sault Ste. Marie that has kind of dissipated. Here's where we are right now. So that storm near the Sioux has fizzled out. A little bit of small hail probably falling here with this storm. Well, it's not really even much of a storm. There's not much lightning with this. Parts of Mackinac County, you can see Newberry there up into Luce County currently, right along US 2. And then a lot of sunshine. I mean, if you're watching on Torch Lake right now, Sheboygan, Traverse City, it's beautiful out. Plenty of sunshine right down through Ludington. And then right down here, we did have a thunderstorm earlier near Roscommon. That worked across Ogama County, and that'll head off out into Lake Huron and away from our area. But if you look upstream, there's still a few showers and storms here near Washington Island, Wisconsin, the Door Peninsula, and back into the central UP. So I still think for the next few hours at least, there's the chance for a little bit of rain to pass through, but nothing that will be too widespread. There's our cold front just passing through. That will continue to chug along to the east and out of the area, which will set up some dry weather. So here's what that looks like. Overnight tonight, you still see a few of these showers and storms. There's 10, 11 o'clock, late tonight. And then after 3 a.m., the rain will be over with, and then we are looking at completely clear skies by morning. And that'll hang on all day tomorrow. So a beautiful day coming up, lots of sunshine. As we head into Wednesday, there is a cold front dropping in. You might see a shower, stray shower with that later in the day Wednesday. I don't think anything widespread or that big of a deal. Temperatures right now, Sault Ste. Marie, we just showed you the camera there, 70, 80 at Pellston, Bel Air, Gaylord, also 80, although it's back up to 84 now at both Mount Pleasant along with Traverse City. It does stay comfortable. Our dew points will remain in the a bit humid category, so we're not going to be overly muggy. That's nice. So it'll be kind of a comfortable week coming up. We do have some warmer days coming up, and you see them there on Friday and Saturday. Of course, Friday is the 4th, Independence Day. Mid-80s to near 90 in our warmest spots. And I'd say the same thing on Saturday. Those are average numbers, upper 80s to near 90. And then we do drop back into the upper 70s Sunday into early next week. The National Cherry Festival, that's ongoing in Traverse City. Look at this. What a splendid forecast. Sunshine tomorrow, 80 degrees on the dot. Mid-80s Wednesday, maybe an isolated late day shower, nothing to worry about. And Thursday, mostly sunny. Highs in the mid-80s there in Traverse City. All right, here's the masterpiece, the extended forecast, and a pretty typical week here for the beginning of July. 70s, low 80s, that's pretty close. Some mid 80s in spots to average for this time of the year. 4th of July, 81 to 90. Small chance for a shower or thunderstorm. It stays warm into Saturday to hot in some cases with a few scattered showers and thunderstorms, but nothing extremely unusual for this time of the year, Maya.
All right, Joe, thank you so much. Nice to see finally starting to look like summer out there a little more. All right, we are going to take a quick break, but we will check in with Sports Director Harrison Beebe live at Turtle Creek Stadium in just a couple of minutes. A pretty big game for the Traverse City Pittsburghers at Turtle Creek Stadium tonight. That is where we find our sports director, Harrison Beebe, who's joining us live now. And Harrison, what's on the line for this game?
Maya, let's just say it's a really unique thing that the Northwoods League does for their teams. And a big reason why is because they have the college players that are kind of funneling in and out throughout the summer. But they do first half division champions and second half division champions. And that first half or second half, if you're one of those spots, allows you to clinch an automatic playoff berth. So here we are, June 30th. The Northwoods League postseason won't begin until mid-August. It runs a week in mid-August, but you can actually, the way they set it up, you can win a playoff berth by winning the first half division standings. And that's what's on the line for the Pittsburghers tonight. They're hosting the Battle Creek Battlejacks. It's a play-in game between the two. They're the top two teams. If Battle Creek wins, they get the spot. If Traverse City wins, they get the spot. And obviously one or the other, whoever loses tonight, can still play for the second half division title and get in. And odds are if they pull away, I think the next best team in the division is like 3.5 back. So the loser tonight will still be probably a decent favorite to get in the second half spot. But it is kind of a nice feeling to just clinch that spot early and have the rest of the summer to just kind of work on some stuff and not feel like you got to clinch a specific playoff berth. And the Pittsburghers have done this in the past, clinched the first half division. So they're very familiar with this stage of winning in June and then worrying about August when they get to August. As we know, they've won in August as well.
Right. I like that format, though. Like you said, it's nice to know that we still have half a season to go, but at least we're already in the playoffs.
Yeah, and they didn't start, I believe they started 0-4, so it wasn't the best of beginnings to the season for the Pittsburghers. Might have looked like this wasn't going to be an option, especially here in the first half, but they've managed to figure things out, score a lot of runs, and here they are. Yeah, one win away from taking care of business for half a year.
Yeah, well, big game tonight, Harrison. We're looking forward to seeing those highlights. But really quick before you go, speaking of baseball, of course, the Tigers are off today. But how about Tarek Skubal in last night's game? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it's really great that they flexed the game to Sunday Night Baseball with the Twins. Not that the Twins were worthy of a Sunday Night Baseball appearance, but nice to see the Tigers on there and getting that national TV coverage. They are one of the best teams, and they are still the best team in the league record-wise, tied with the Dodgers. And, yeah, crowds need to be talking about their American League favorites by betting sites, a lot of them. So this is no longer just a great start to a season. This is a team that now has an 11.5-game lead in the AL Central and is going to have to be taken seriously by everybody else in the major leagues.
Definitely. All right, Harrison, thank you so much for that sports update. As I mentioned, we're looking forward to seeing those Pittsburghers highlights tonight at 11. All right, let's take our final commercial break, but coming up in just a few minutes, we will check in with our question of the day, the live results, and a few of your comments. Stay with us.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
Taking one last look at our question of the day and the live results. What is your financial situation compared to last year? As you can tell on your screen, 37% say they are better this year, 35% worse, and 27% the same. Over on Facebook, a few comments. Bill says, well, things cost more, so there's that. Carrie says grocery prices up, gas prices up. Mike says my 401k is doing it fantastic. You can join the conversation over on our Facebook page, but we are all out of time here on Unscripted. As always, thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you back here at 11 o'clock tonight.